about this. We create community, use challenge as the catalyst.
The trust breeds magic.
We're going to connect on the same level.
Possibility is bigger than they imagine.
Like any experiment, the reason you do it is to learn.
Who would you be without opportunity?
The learnings of this experiment are going to be on the edge of what's possible.
Everybody!
I can do this, and it's worth doing.
This became a love for us, this place.
Thanks, Duke. Thanks, Matt. Thanks to the Chief Transportation Officer, wherever he is in the room. Gary, Anna, everyone else here. Exceptional place to be, amazing crowd of people, and very happy to be here. About 3 years ago, we set out to bring manufacturing back to this country. And as Duke said, the guy that I worked for started a watch company and knew a lot about watches. And so I'll run you through the story of Shinola and give you a little bit of background of what it's about and what our mission is. This thing work? Here we go. So we're building a modern and quintessentially American brand through the reintroduction of manufacturing, domestic manufacturing, at a scale that can shape culture, create community, and deliver goods of the highest quality that are built to last. The important piece of that is that scale. We are not a niche play here. We are operating a factory in Detroit that can produce 500,000 watches annually. And we just started. We've been making movements in that factory for about 1.5 years now. And about 6 months ago, we started assembling the watches. I'm going to play a little video for you guys here that'll give you a little background. Let's see if I can get this thing.
Welcome to Detroit, the new watchmaking capital of America, where a long-gone industry is beginning its ascent. Here, in 30,000 square feet of Midtown. Using steel, leather, and labor to make watches of quality that haven't been made this way in this country for more than 40 years. It's an effort to retake our place, out on the factory floor. It takes work to return to form, but we're up for it, starting with the reinvigoration of a storied American brand and of this storied American city. We are also crafting hand-built bicycles and leather goods made with hides from America's oldest working tannery. We are doing this because we believe in the beauty of industry, the glory of manufacturing. We know there's not just history in this town, there's a future. It's why we came, creating a community that will thrive through excellence of craft and pride of work. Shinola, where American is made.
So that's our brand video, and just gives you a little bit of a insight to what we're up to. I don't know how many of you know, but Shinola was an old shoe polish brand. Started back in 1907 and fizzled out in the mid 50s, early 60s from what we know. And as some of you might know the old saying, you don't know shit from Shinola. That's where it came from. The story goes that there was a general who was not the nicest guy in the world, and he would walk through the base in the morning and hand his shoes off to a grunt, and the grunt outsmarted the general one day by shining his shoes with the S word, and rather than using Shinola. And so that saying stuck, and was one of those sayings that gave the shoe polish pop culture status, and still remains today. And there's a ton of brand equity in Shinola. And as we were looking for a name for this business, there was actually a friend of Tom's that told him he doesn't know shit from Shinola, and that's where it went. That's where the business started, essentially, or where we were given the orders to go and figure out how to get the trademark rights to Shinola, and that's what we did. And luckily, we have Shinola as our name. Our story. So we landed in Detroit. A friend of ours is a Detroiter. And he had told Tom, he said, Tom, if you ever want to start something new again, go to Detroit and check out Detroit. And that's what we did. And the first meeting was just sort of a tour of the city. And the second meeting we came back and there was a group there, the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation, and they had put together a meeting, and there were literally a room of people like this, and everyone wanted to help. Everyone was asking, what can I do to help you guys? How can I make your journey here in Detroit easier? And so the process began from there. We were on a tour of this building. This building is the College for Creative Studies. It's where Harley Earl designed cars for GM. It's where the first heart and lung machine were designed and developed. And there's countless other stories about this building. It's an incredible, amazing space. And GM donated it to the College for Creative Studies. And the college raised many millions of dollars. And they refurbed the entire building and they put a school in it. And not only a college for creative studies, but they also put an academy. The Henry Ford Academy actually lives in this building as well. So it's an incredible educational institution. And now there's a watch factory in that building on the 5th floor. We occupy about 30,000 square feet, and we were on a tour of the building, as I said, and the elevator just happened to stop on the 5th floor, and the doors opened up, and it was just a big, empty dust box, essentially, of about 55,000 square feet is the floor plate of these floors. And we asked what they were doing with the space. They said, we want to put something in here. We don't really know what it is. And we said, can we put a watch factory in there? And they looked at us and said, no, you guys are crazy. That won't happen. And one thing led to another. Unfortunately, the president of the school, a gentleman by the name of Rick Rogers, is a true visionary. And he let us put a watch factory in there. This is the only collaboration of this type that we know of in the world, where a watch assembly facility lives inside of a school. And we work with the school very closely. We actually sponsor classes on a per semester basis, everything from watch design to bicycle design. This semester we're sponsoring a class where the students are studying advertising for us and helping us with that. So it's quite interesting, and it's an exceptional example of anything is possible. So we're very, very lucky to be in the school there. I'm going to show you this quick video. This is a video that will give you a great sense of really what we're up to in Detroit.
To make a watch in the United States is an unbelievable endeavor. Watches are the most complex product to make in regards to design, development, and manufacturing.
We want to make watches in Detroit. We will assemble the movements here. All the line employees that we hired, they've never assembled a watch. They've assembled cars maybe, but not watches.
People gonna buy watches that we made. It's gonna be a big deal to me.
Even though it is the beginning, you just want to put your best foot forward and try your best.
President and Shinola have partnered to bring the knowledge of movement manufacturing to the United States, supporting Shinola in bringing high-quality watches to the market.
When they were training in the beginning, they would just go around the neck of the trainee and show with their own hands how to handle the parts.
They have this long checklist of, showing us like how actually this stuff works so we can troubleshoot it ourselves.
It's getting the best people that know what they're doing and bringing them all together to create something that's really unique in the United States.
All the components are produced in Switzerland. All we need is a proper assembly of the components. It's like on a car. A good car is only a good car if everything is good quality and assembled the right way. We can bring the knowledge, but the people are still the most important element. By the training they had from our crew, there is no reason why this quality that we have already achieved can be transferred to Detroit.
Everybody's pretty good. Like, I commend everybody. We're coming together every day. It's just like a team.
These people that are working in the factories and are building watches, that's really the story. This is about the United States, and it's localizing jobs and building jobs not just in Detroit, but all across the country. The space was a big, raw, open concrete space, and now it's a watch factory.
So, creating jobs and making things is what we're up to in Detroit. And one of the most important things that we're making is the movement. And our movement has been dubbed the Argonite movement because we live in the Argonaut building. We couldn't use Argonaut. And fortunately, Tom, from his past, had some incredible relationships. And one of those relationships was with a gentleman and a family in Switzerland. And when Nicholas Hayek and the Swatch Group went around and were buying up all the watch companies and movement makers in Switzerland in partnership with the banks, this company, Ronda AG, the family did not want to sell. And they held out. And a relationship developed between Tom and Eric and his family. And so about 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, when we set out to develop Shinola, one of the key pieces of the puzzle that Tom was able to bring to life was a partnership between Shinola and Ronda. And so Tom, he always carries this rubber bag around, and I swear the thing is toxic. And so he went and he dropped it into Eric's living room over in Switzerland, and Eric has a beautiful house. And he told Eric, I'm not leaving until you agree to do this, until you agree to bring a movement assembly facility to Detroit. And Eric eventually agreed, and he asked Tom what Detroit was like. And Eric has a huge window in his house, and it overlooks the valley. And way off in the distance, you can see Eric's house. And Tom said, "Well, Eric, Detroit looks just like this." And next thing you know, we were on our way to building this facility in Detroit in partnership with Ronda. So, the movement is the heartbeat of our watches. So many people ask why Detroit? And at the end of the day, why not, right? Has to do with the people, but it also has to do with what we're building in Detroit are engines. Our engines power watches. They make the watch tick. So it's a quartz movement that's powered by a battery. One of the things that we're very proud of is the back of our watch, the case back. We're one of the first watch companies, or potentially the first watch company, to advertise the back of a watch. It tells the story of Shinola. Built in Detroit, USA movements with Swiss parts, and then it has a lightning bolt. And the lightning bolt appears on pretty much all of our products, and that's our symbol of quality. We believe that quality products can be made in America again, and that they can be made at scale. And so in time, we hope that that lightning bolt becomes a symbol that people around the world, not just in America, recognize as that symbol of quality and that symbol of what we can do here in America. Bicycles. So many people scratch their head, why bicycles? And there's several interesting correlations between bicycles and watches. Number one, our bicycles are very high quality bicycles. They're steel frames. We make them using American steel, in fact. The tubes are all forged here in the States. The supply chain is very similar to watches, because what we have to do with watches is we bring all the components for the watches into the U.S. from around the world, as we do with bicycles. We bring, the tires, we bring the hubs, we bring the braking systems, the saddles. We bring those components in, and then we assemble everything in Detroit. I'll show you a video in just a second, but the things that we do get here in America, for example, are the wheels and the dropouts. Those are cut in Detroit, the head badge. So we try to source as much as we can in America, but there's just things you cannot get made in this country today. And so we source them in. And then, bicycles today in the urban environments have become fashion accessories at some level, as a watch might be. to some. So I'm going to share one video with you, and then we'll talk a little bit more about bicycles.
We're committed to the idea of making bikes in America. As you see here in Waterford, this is a labor of love. The Shinola bikes have an absolute commitment to American handmade craftsmanship. And then there's the whole heritage of Waterford. Richard is fourth generation Schwinn. Frame building's in his blood. This facility, they have their own legitimate history making Waterfords. It's perfect for Shinola to be associated with an American icon like Waterford.
Bicycles are a great way to learn technology. They're one of the most demanding examples of any technology that's out there. We come closer with our steel bikes to the technological limit of bicycle design.
Waterford is it's a small shop. Everything's all one-off. It's very interesting to be able to come in here and actually see your bike, if you wanted to, being made.
They don't see the guys' welds, they don't see the miters, they don't see all the little details, the way the tubes have to be cut, the way the little brazons are fitted on. A lot of that just goes away when you paint the frame. The integrity of the welder is very important. The experience of the welder is very important. And Shinola only wants to bring to market high quality products. So we feel really lucky to be able to make frames here.
Well, we have two models of bicycles by Shinola. The Runwell is the flagship model. It's a lugged steel frame, and it has an 11-speed drivetrain on it. The other bike is the Bixby. It's a 3-speed, and it's a TIG welded frame, so it's a little more shapely. It's got the curved top tube, and then it has a 3-speed internal hub.
We want people to look at their bikes not just as a ride, but as an investment. Our ability to produce bikes in larger quantities like we're doing for Shinola are terrific. That's something that makes us really excited. That's what makes this project really special.
So I don't know if you caught the name of the gentleman that was speaking there. His name is Richard Schwinn. And as many of you might know, Schwinn is one of the great American brands. And in developing the bicycle business, we came across this wonderful lady. Her name is Sky Yeager, who was also featured in the video there. And Sky has been designing bicycles and in the bicycle industry for the past 30 years. And she introduced us to Richard Schwinn. And Sky designed our bikes and is still part of the organization. In fact, we just came from Vegas, as Duke mentioned yesterday, because we were at Interbike, and Sky was there, and she's an icon and really a legend in the bicycle industry, an amazing lady, amazing human being. And so she took us to Richard Schwinn, and we said to Richard, we want to make 1,000 bicycles. What do you need to do that? Because Richard's been making 100, 200 bicycles a year for the past 20 years since Schwinn went away. He's been making custom bikes for, a guy like Gary who wants a bike that's perfect to his size, his fit, what he wants to do in terms of riding. And so we asked Richard, we said, Richard, what can we do? How can we do this? And he said, well, I need to hire people, right? And guess what? That's what we're up to. We want to create jobs here in America. And so we said, great, here's an order for 1,000 bicycles. And Richard has gone out and he's found people to do it. And he has delivered an incredible product to Shinola and has really enhanced the brand story and the overarching story, which again is bringing those jobs back to America. I'm just going to share this one ad with you guys. There's so much chitter chatter about Detroit, and we're so proud to be in Detroit, and we truly believe that if we weren't in Detroit, we might not be here today. That community is one where people are tenacious. They are not taking no for an answer, and they're all rallying around each other, really trying to bring that city back to the glory and might. that it once was. Many people don't realize Detroit is such a historical city. It's the first city in America where there was actually a paved road. You know, I mentioned earlier the heart and lung machine design there. You know, think about a guy like Henry Ford, amazing American man, amazing inventor, brought the car to us all. You know, folks like the Dodge brothers. I mean, just countless stories. And so, you know, we all know that Detroit not long ago filed for bankruptcy protection. And just a few days after that, we happen to have a watch that's called the Birdie. And that watch was named the Birdie many, many months ahead of what happened in Detroit. And so we came out with this ad. And I think this ad speaks to the brand. It's a brand that has some humility to it. It's a brand that is very open. It's a brand that, you know, we like to bring humor to people. And so this ad was in the New York Times about 5 days after the bankruptcy thing happened. And as you can see, it said, "To those who've written off Detroit, we give you the Birdie." And that ad was an ad that created a bunch of noise and a bunch of stir for Shinola, in fact, and was very, very helpful in us being able to tell the story and really being able to tell about the positive that is happening in Detroit. You know, we don't look at ruin porn. We don't share ruin porn. And we encourage people to not do that, because that city is a city that's full of incredible human beings, incredible opportunity, and you know, it's a place that will once again thrive. And we're so very lucky to be part of that. So I'm going to leave you with this photo. This is a photo of our people assembling watches. I think it's a very iconic photo. You know, these folks are folks, one guy, I'll just tell you this quick story, who's actually a line leader. His name is Willie. He was in one of the videos, and he actually narrated the first brand video that we saw. Willie was a security guard in the building where we now live. And he heard about what we're doing, and he came up and he took the aptitude test that we require people to take, and he aced it. And as I said, he's now a line leader. And all these folks here have incredible stories, some that didn't even know that a watch needed a movement to tick. And here they are now assembling them and creating an incredible community. And they're such an important thread or a piece of the thread to what we're doing in Detroit. And that's a major focus of what we're up to, is the people. And they add so much to our mission. And I'll just leave you with this. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there's no path and leave a trail behind." So here's to you all. Thank you. Do you want me to plug this?